Negotiation skills, a very important skill that is required for professionals, especially the sales marketing people in an organization. What is negotiation? It is the process of bargaining where two parties, each of whom has something that the other wants, is trying to reach an agreement on mutually accepted terms. Basically, it's a compromise that is arrived through an agreement. Negotiation is defined as the process of trying to reach an agreement through discussion, and it is a meeting where this discussion takes place. So let us see how we can build our negotiation skills. What is the nature of negotiation? It obviously requires two parties. The objective is to reach an agreement. It is a continuous process until the agreement is reached. Usually there is no winner or loser. To be very positive, there are only winners. Requires flexibility. If one is stuck on one's argument, then negotiation will not happen. Agreement will never be reached. It's a process, not an event. It is not an event, that's why there are no winners or losers. Needs effective communication because we are trying to convey something, and hence effective communication is a must. Let's look at some situations requiring negotiation. An issue involving more than one person. We had the Ambani brothers fighting over property. When the problem cannot be solved by a single person, it involves more than two to solve something. Land issues, property issues. When the parties involved have different views or aims regarding the outcome. When both the concerned parties are willing to meet and discuss the issue, that's when the negotiations will happen. So the P's of negotiation are purpose. What is the purpose of this negotiation? A plan that has to be in place to ensure that agreement is reached. Pace. One must remember that a negotiation process should not exceed 20 minutes. People don't have the patience to listen beyond that. One should be able to achieve an agreement stage within 20 minutes. Personalities. One must remember that personalities involved could be a person with excellent communication skills or very persuasive skills. In that case, our planning needs to be very tight. Factors affecting negotiation. The following factors affect the outcome of negotiation. Place. If negotiation happens regarding my office, then I have an advantage. Time. It should be a time where it's convenient for one and all. Attitude. What is the attitude we have towards the problem? Subjective factors like personal relationship between the two parties involved. What is the relationship? Is it cordial still, or they're still at daggers? Status difference. Is one very well off and the other is not? In that case, sometimes it can become defensive and one needs to be careful there. Work pressures. If one is tightly, involved in a lot of other things, one may not have the time really to spend on such issues. Reputation of the other person. If the person has already got a very high reputation and one is trying to negotiate with that person, that may not be easy. Information and expertise. What is the information in hand for me to make that plan? And what is my expertise? Mutual obligations, if any. If you are already obliged, then how does one take this process? The negotiation process goes this way. An offer is made, there is a counter offer made, then there is a concession that happens, finally a compromise is reached and the agreement is finalized. What are the two popular bargaining strategies? On the basis of the stability aspect of the negotiated settlement and the outcome of the negotiation process, there are two negotiation strategies: distributive strategy and integrative strategy. In a distributive strategy, if the basis of difference is amount of resources available, primary motivation, primary interest and relationship focus, then in distributive strategy it's fixed, it's I win, you lose, opposite to each other and very short term. But if you look at integrative strategy, then it is variable, I win, you win. That should be the right strategy. Very often we have seen when we go to buy, as a lady, when we go to buy a sari and I like something but it's beyond my budget, but the way the shopkeeper makes me feel good about the sari, and then the negotiation process happens and then we arrive at a price. Even though I'm paying the price he wants, he makes me feel good by saying that I have bought one of the best, I have the best selection and I've got the best sari in the city with me today. So these are some methods, complementary to each other and long term. Phases of negotiation. We plan, we have a briefing of the problem or what we want to negotiate, then the bidding happens, then bargaining, where it may come down, go up, whatever it might be. Then the setting happens, saying this is what we will settle for. Ratifying, saying finally, checking with all, saying have we finally come to an agreement. It's good to do a review of the negotiation process because it helps us, it gives us feedback for the next set of negotiation that we might do. Negotiating tactics, reviewing progress as we go through the negotiation process. Are we here? Are we here? Our understanding is clear. Clarifying problems, if any. Showing agreement. Summarizing. Monitoring the progress. Saying this is where we are. Sometimes we may not be able to conclude and may have to continue later. In that case, we stop at a point. So some negotiating skills that may be useful. Begin with a positive note, saying that we are here today to come to a conclusion about this issue that we had for so long. Address problems, not personalities involved. Keep the problem, focus on the problem, not on people. As soon as we get into an ego trip or a people trip, we will completely lose focus on the problem. Pay little attention to initial offers. They keep coming in a negotiation cycle. But when we make our arguments, just continue. Emphasize on a win-win or problem-solving approach. Always see to that the other person is also gaining in the process. In that case, the negotiation will go through well. Create an open and trusting climate. The statements we make, the facts we put across, and the arguments we do, all should convey this meaning of being open and trusting. If the climate during negotiation is not conducive, even after the icebreakers and even after the opening positive notes, and if you still find that there is no opening up happening and the climate is not conducive, then one should postpone the process because it's not going to happen. We will not reach a compromise. We will not reach an agreement. Just stay in touch, look for deal makers and use tact later to see how we can get it across. So a brief, though negotiations would need a lot of further detailing, further practicing, okay. I hope this brief will give you that initial input in your negotiation attempt. Thank you.